Alright guys, welcome back. Start of episode 4. Before we move 1 year into the future, I thought I'd just go over some of the predictions so we can refer back to this video or this episode later on when our careers are over and we can look back and see who got what and what came true and etc. So I'll just start from the top with Dr. Chris. Naturally, because he's a goalkeeper, his career is likely to outlive most of ours. So it's not a bold prediction, but I'd be very surprised if he doesn't have the longest playing career of all of us. In terms of outfield players who have the longest career, my bet would be John, just because of his natural fitness there. That will mean when he ages, his physical perks will come down at a slower rate. So that would be my bet. And moving on to another prediction, I know I've got some feedback from you guys on the WhatsApp, some really good ideas or questions. So I'll factor that into this little cameo. But Novak's one I've mentioned before, how I think this leadership, I'm interested to see how it will play out post playing career. So people have said, but he might not have a good playing career, but just because he's got so many nationalities, he's got ability, he's going to be a decent player. He could make up into a coaching, but we'll see. But that's another prediction. And then moving on, Aidan was asked me in real life. He was saying, who do we think will be the first to get an international cap? It's a good question. Honestly, it could be anyone really. Like you can see here, McShane's valued the highest, so you'd think that scouts or whatnot will pick up and earmark him for a young international stint. But just because Ireland is probably easier to break into the senior side, the Irish players like Connor, because of his strength at the back there, that will stand him in good stead. So it's hard to see. Nick, because he's Greek, I don't know about Greek's player pool in the game, but if he's got ability and potential, they might give him a young cap early doors. So yeah, one of the Irish lot, or maybe Nick or Novak, because again, it's easier to break into those teams. But one thing I would like to point out is I do plan to, if we do break into the international scene, plan on doing live videos of the games that we are participating in the major tournaments. So it probably won't happen until episodes 9 or 10 further down the line, just because Euro 2016 probably come too soon for us. Even though we will be 18, could be one or two of us might make a squad, but it's unlikely that we'll be starters. So it won't be until the World Cup 2018 where we're 20 that we should be, if we are going to be some of the best in the world, be on the door or on the cusp of the first team. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I know a lot of you seem to be interested in the international aspect, so I'll factor that into videos. And so going back to the predictions, who will get the most caps? Again, I think Dr. Chris, as a goalkeeper, I can see him getting 100 caps. He could be that good. And other players, for England, Aidan looks a stalwart. I'm gauging him around the 50 cap mark. Stephen looks like he could get 30-40 caps there for England, possibly. And Matt as well, in that same sort of region as Aidan and Stephen. Then the likes of Ross, Alex, I'm expecting maybe 5-10 caps, if possible. And then with the Irish lot, it could be anything. It could be 50 to 80 between that defence, that back four. Depends what other Irish players are in the game at the time. I don't know how many. When we're 25, there might be another 20-year-old breaking on who's even better. So it's hard to guarantee. But the four of John, myself, Connor, and Gal, hoping we can build up a partnership and get 50 caps, I'd say. Baldwin's an interesting one because he is touted or in the other 21s already, so depending who he plays for, England or Ireland, he could really be sensational just because of that finishing. And Beasley mentioned it in the WhatsApp thread that they should retrain him as an attacker just because of that finishing. And if I was managing Brentford, I'd sort of train him to come inside, so be like an Alexis or a Marco Reus with coming in off the right hand flank onto his left foot. That's what I'd retrain him as. So it's all possible to retrain us, but again, because Brentford, they're not the best coaches for this, they're probably not. They're going to pick up before it's too late. But as you'll notice, we're all on youth contracts here, so my worry is that we're going to get poached because any club in England, I think, maybe I'm not sure outside of England, can approach to sign. They go straight into contract talks, and if they're a bigger club than Brentford, they're probably going to be able to give a better contract, and you're likely to move. So it'd be a shame if we don't all get 1 year together at least, or at least the first 6 months before the January window. I would like us to stay together. I could have tinkered something with the setup where I made us stay at Brentford for 2 to 3 seasons, let us develop there, see how we got on at Brentford, but I fought against it and just let it be natural. If the bids come in, I want to see which player leaves first. Stephen was a prediction to leave first just because I've made him dislike Brentford, dislike Aiden. So that'd be interesting to see where he goes. Or people said, his attitude will be bad, but his attitude won't be bad because he's got a determination of 20. So his attitude will be really good. But in terms of him forcing a leave, he could force a leave just because he doesn't like the club. So predictions: who'll stay the longest? Nick. I've got him down as a Brentford supporter, and that's his primary team he supports. So Nick could possibly stay there the longest. That would be another prediction. And maybe Gallo, I put him down as his second team supporting is Brentford. Arsenal's his number one, but he might follow wherever Frank Lampard goes to America. So who knows? Who knows what could happen? And let me see what other predictions. Yeah, I mentioned before how Mills should get a lot of assists playing that playmaker role, but also Beasley and Monday with their crossing and dribbling ability and playing so advanced, they're going to be in the goals and the assists region. More so, Beasley with his dribbling will probably be a goal scorer. Monday will probably be a assist. I'm thinking, when I see Monday though, I think Jason Wilcox or Stuart Ripley for some reason. I don't know why. And yeah, so Matt would be the prediction just to score the most goals in the career. It's natural, he's the number one striker and he's got that composure. So yeah, can't think of what other predictions. Connor had a few good suggestions in terms of will all three of them go to like Connor, Ross and Alex all end up in Watford. I made it 100 to 1. It's very unlikely, but you never know. I just think you could all end up at the same club, but I just think you're too good for Watford. That would be my only reasoning there. And also, it was, will Stephen get sent off with an altercation with Aiden? I made 33 to 1, but I mean, I've never seen it happen in Football Manager where your own player gets sent off again for doing something to your own team, but it could happen. But I'm not sure how I'd be able to pick up on it. I can go into all of our careers and see the red cards and see what happened, I suppose. I can look at that. And yeah, another prediction then would be also McShane's disciplinary. I'm expecting him to be, just because he plays the holding role anyway, he's going to pick up bookings, but because of his aggression, I'm expecting him to have the worst disciplinary record out of all of us. And yeah, I can't think of too many predictions just now. I think we'll all be on the youth international premises, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this first year goes. I'm quite excited that I got good feedback from you guys, so hopefully you're excited too, see how your career develops, see how everyone else develops. And yeah, so I should be able to just go to manager holiday and we'll see how everyone's developed. Okay, so just bear with me.